In other news, Western Air recently finding themselves in the hot seat after posts were made on social media regarding their early departures. Tonight, our Aja Kwan spoke with Vice President of Operations, Shirexia Rold, who is now clarifying. She joins us live in studio with the latest. Aja, tell us or fill us in.
Ramiko, you would normally hear of disgruntled passengers complaining on continuous delays from an airline. Well, this time the complaints are about early departures from Western Air. Now, some are complaining that the departures are as early as 1 hour and 30 minutes. Vice President of Operations Shirexia Rold now speaking to those comments, noting that it is important that the airline provides on-time quality service to their passengers.
That's why our check-in times are 2 hours prior to departure, and our flight closing times are 1 hour prior to departure. And so these are, standard check-in policies that we've had for over 2 decades thus far, and we found them to be very useful in ensuring that the flight either leaves on time or slightly earlier.
Now passengers swiftly taking to social media to voice their concerns. One comment in particular speaking to the airline's time management, questioning if their flight isn't until 5:30 p.m. and they arrive at 4 to check in. Why was they told their plane was already in the air? Another comment says, I think it's a bit of an inconvenience not leaving for the scheduled time. But there was one comment that came to the defense of the airline, noting that it is always best to be to any airline 2 hours ahead, whether domestic or not. In response, Roll explains that the policy of on-time and early departures are primarily aimed at ensuring efficient and punctual operations, particularly during high-volume travel times.
Flight closing time, which again is just 1 hour prior to departure, simply means that that's the cutoff time in which passengers are permitted to check in. So at that time, 1 hour prior to the flight time, passengers are expected to be seated at their boarding gate and just awaiting to board at any time. And on the back end or the behind the scenes, that's also the same time in which our operations team would be finalizing flight documentation and preparing the crew for the upcoming flight.
Roll says she believes the airline's frequent flyers have grown accustomed to their early departures and is also something that they require. The vice president emphasizing the importance of timely check-ins and boarding procedures.
This is especially important during high volume travel times, such as now, summertime. And so when other factors such as weather and air traffic delays come into play, it's always helpful to check in early and be seated at the boarding gate to ensure that we are able to keep everything scheduled and on time as we do our best in getting people to their destination safely and on time.
Now, by encouraging passengers to be checked in and seated at the gate 1 hour before departure, Western Air aims to improve overall punctuality and minimize disruptions during high-volume travel times. Live here in studio, reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Aja Kwan. Back to you, Ramiko.
Thanks so much, Aja.